Good morning, my people, my people, my people. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. My people, there is some troubling events that is happening in our small country. Very troubling events that every Vincentian should be concerned about. And I'm going to speak about one particular incident, and I'm going to merge a few other incidents so that we can get an understanding of what is happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and why Vincentians ought to be concerned. On the 16th of May 2022, at Old Montrose, two masked assailants went to Old Montrose, Upper New Montrose area, with guns, and they shot and killed two Vincentian young men, Eldon Barber and Daniel Skerritt. Apparently, an ex-police officer was on the scene, and the ex-police officer had a licensed firearm, and he returned fire at the two assailants that had just murdered two young residents of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, particularly Montrose. One of the assailants was shot. He was taken into custody. He was taken to the Kingston General Hospital, where a surgical procedure was performed upon him. Yet, from the 16th of May to today, more than 2 months later, the identity of this assailant, who was a party in the murder of two Vincentian citizens, is kept quiet, is kept under wraps. He went to the hospital. He had his surgery on that same day, 2 months ago. He was not arraigned. He was not charged. The police did not ask the community for help in the apprehension of the second assailant, because I am of the opinion that that man who was shot and apprehended would have given the police the information they need as to who his partner was. The newspapers, the Searchlight, the News, the online papers, Osborne News, Eyewitness News, and all of the other papers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines have never made an effort to find out what is the name of this assailant who was responsible for being a co-murderer of two Montrose men. Why is the police keeping this assailant's identity a secret? Why haven't the police asked the community for help in identifying and apprehending the second assailant? Because I am of the opinion that assailant number one, the wounded man, would have given the police the information that they want to know about his partner. My people, when you see things like this happen in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you have to know that Ralph Gonsalves is somehow connected to what is happening, because guess what? The only person the police and other departments of government lies for and keep secret for is for Ralph Gonsalves and those persons who are close to Ralph Gonsalves. So the question we must ask here: did Eldon Barber or Daniel Skerritt offended Ralph Gonsalves and any member of his family or his party or his inner circle? Did Eldon Barber and Daniel Skerritt were involved in drug deal on behalf of Ralph Gonsalves and his party, and it went wrong and they are taking revenge? No matter how you turn it, Ralph Gonsalves is tied up in the murder of these two men. That is why the name and the identity of assailant number one is a secret more than 2 months after the murders took place. That is why the name and identity of assailant number two is still quiet after 2 months after the murders take place. How is this possible? Which of the government ministers are responsible for sending these two assailants to kill these two young men. My people, last week, there was another double murder, this time in Old Montrose, Block 2000 area. Are these two double murder connected in some way? Is it the same assailant who escaped? Was he responsible for these two murders in Block 2000? My people, it seems like something is wrong in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It seems that there are people in high authority who is trying to clean up something for some reason that I don't know about. In 2 months, there were two double murders, one at Old Montrose and one in New Montrose. 4 Vincentian men dead. There is one assailant in custody, yet his identity is kept quiet. It's kept a secret. My people, every morning, Hot 97 and all of the FM station in St. Vincent and the Grenadines discuss issue as it relates to crime and other social impact issues in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yet, none of them have made any inquiry as to find out what is the identity of this assailant that was injured. What is the progress on the investigation of Elon Barber and Daniel Skerritt? Remember, one of the assailants is in custody. One of the assailants is known by the police, is known to the police. Why are their identity kept quiet? Why isn't the public brought up to speed on the investigation and the status of this investigation? Did this assailant die in surgery on the 16th of May 2022? No, he didn't die, because if he died, it would have been made public. Does that mean the assailant is still alive? I have called a few friends in St. Vincent and the Grenadines who are normally underground and will have information such as it relates to these things. They can't tell me a thing, and they were shocked when I brought it to their attention that they have never heard anything about this double murder again. So is the family of Elon Barber and the families of Daniel Skerritt supposed to just say, "Rest in peace, my brother, my son," and that assailant is supposed to walk free? Is he Ralph Gonzalez hitman? Is he Julian Francis hitman? Is he Camilo Gonzalez hitman? Why this big secret? Why is he being protected? My people, it is time that the community wants to know. We heard that Carlyle Duggan, ex-ambassador to the United Kingdom for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, ex-Attorney General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is a victim of crime. We heard that Mr. Duggan is a victim of crime. Yet, those people have perpetrated the criminal act against Mr. Duggan, a man who is in his senior years, a very old man, is walking about free. The police is ignoring them. Why? Because Mr. Duggan was an ambassador under the James Mitchell NDP administration. He is not afforded the privilege of due process. He is not afforded the privilege of having his crimes, the crime that is committed against him, investigated. Why? This is an old man in the twilight of his age. He will be insecure by virtue of his age. And when criminal activities are perpetrated upon these people, the police must be swift in dealing with them so that they can have a little security. You have to remember that Mr. Duggan have contributed tremendously to the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So how can we ignore Mr. Duggan in his time of need, Mr. Duggan in his time of insecurity? Carlisle don't have any children around him. He have to depend on the mercies of the law enforcement authority in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it seems that the law enforcement authority is ignoring him. What they're supposed to do? Is the assailant supposed to go back and kill Carlisle Duggan before anyone take any meaningful step in his action, in his plight? Are the assailants supposed to kill Duggan before the police go and arrest them? Something is terribly wrong in St. Vincent. There is too much unsolved murders in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There are too much criminal actions that are reported to the police that are not being addressed by the police. The police has an obligation to investigate or utilize their resources to ensure that crimes reported are investigated, that the assailants are brought to justice, charged and tried. But what they're doing nothing. And when they get criminals who commit murder, they are protecting them. They are hiding their identity. Why? We don't know. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. I'm out.